If you are a creator, a founder, an inspirationer, uh, you're inspired to do something different than what you've been already been doing, or you're just someone who's really trying to see what else is out there, this is the episode for you. Today's episode of the podcast, because we want to know, when it really comes down to it, is it enough to be talented in 2026? My best bet, be sincere. My best bet, be sincere.
Best that I can do. Yeah.
Tell you.
Yeah.
It's designing laughs, designing in your face. It's designing laughs, designing in your face. Don't know what to design today, but there's just one thing I know for sure. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Designing Laughs. I'm your host, Devin, as always, and today's episode is, a doozy that's been well overdue. Today, we're going to talk to you all about something that is a deeper conversation that needs to be talked about, and you are just the people to talk to about it. So, if you are a creator, a founder, an inspirationer, uh, you're inspired to do something different than what you've been already been doing, or you're just someone who's really trying to see what else is out there, this is the episode for you. Today's episode of the podcast, because we want to know, when it really comes down to it, is it enough to be talented in 2026? Well, I'm going to answer that question the best I can and leave it up to you all as well to be able to put your input into it. So let's get into it, and let's unpack what it means to be talented in 2026, and is that enough? Well, let's unpack. First and foremost, if you define what the definition of enough is, it simply means that you uh, have done in. I can't use the definition within the definition, so let me try to give you definition again. The definition of enough just means that you has sustained what it is and what you need to do in order to get a certain outcome out of you know, something that you're trying to do. So whether it be an event or product launch or whatever that may be, if you have a certain goal that your expectations of, and you've done you've done what it takes in order to meet that, then you've done so-called enough. And how do you measure that? Well, I mean, everybody has their own definitions or their own ways of defining that measurably, and some of those are more accurate than others, and sometimes you have to be realistic, and you have to be mindful of, there's no wrong way to go about life as far as saying it has to be done this way or else, because that's not how life is, and that's not how talent works, or success, or creativity, for more for the for the lack of better words, is all based on trial and error and keep on learning, like how life is. And with that being said, I personally think enough, even, what does that really mean outside of just you to classifying what enough is? Like, I think it really has not very much value because it's all subjective and it's all based off of what the individual person wants and desires at the time, and that can change. You can be saying you want this and you want to be famous. You can be saying you want X and Y Z amount of money, exposure. You can say I want to be able to retire tomorrow, or I want to be I want to be a star or whatever the case may be. But when it really comes down to it, you define those things, and if you do get those things or you don't, does not make you any less or any more of a person because that you had that. And that is what's is most important, is that people understand what today's society, how things are going. We have to take a step back and be able to say, man, this stuff is too much. Like all this, who got what and who got that, and how you did this and how you did that, and why you didn't do this, and I would do that better than you and your mama and all them. Man, all that is too much, and it's not necessary. So we really do pride ourselves on trying to reach the community and really demonstrating how important it is to recognize that
It's fire. Like, it's really, really good. I've been waiting so long, you don't know, coming from a place, broken home. Close your mouth, move it along, look elsewhere, cover south, don't go, not like that, take 'em back, 86, catch up, food biz taught me that, if you wanna eat good, stay off the hood, focus strong, I've been waiting so long, you don't know, I've been waiting so long. Been waiting so long. Been waiting so long. I've been waiting so long, you don't know, coming from empty head, sick living, paint thin, filled with lead, not seen yet misled, youth is true, so I play, give them hope, don't choke, just smile, tell them no, if they wonder, feeds my hunger, can't wait no further, I've been waiting so long, you don't know, coming from, I've been waiting so long, I've been waiting so long, I've been waiting so long. Man, I got your message. Loud and clear, bro. What are those you're wearing, though? Come on, man. Can't have you out here looking like that, bro. Seriously, like, what are you wearing? Don't even worry about it. I'm glad you came to the merchandise shop. Don't even answer that question. Hey, by the way, what size do you wear?
Okay. Well, hey, in order to be part of this crew, man, like you gotta be a man of multiple different hats. Not everybody can wear these. Well, I guess you can. I lied. Anybody can wear it, literally. Especially if you just go onto our website. We do what we can, and we leave it up to the people at large to be able to tell the full story after we're done telling it because we can only do so much. Like, I can only give you the information, share my story, share real stories, share my skills, resources to a degree. But at the end of the day, you're gonna take what you want and forget the rest. So you have to be honest with yourself. I think that is a great starting point to be able to place what isn't important and what's not important. And not only that, but to keep your sanity in check so that you're not, you know, getting depressed or feeling like I'm not meeting up to what quote unquote society thinks I should be doing or what I place on myself to do that may not even be necessary because it's unhealthy or it may be just something that's not attainable at the moment, and that's okay. Sometimes we always think about talent is a a gift or a skill that you build over time, or you just have it, and once you have it, you can't lose it. And I don't think that's the case. I think there's aspects of that that are true, but that's not the case for everybody. And that doesn't necessarily say that if you have a skill or talent, like you're going to be necessarily secure in life, or you're going to be uh, have it any easier than anybody else. Because trust me, you don't. As you grow in life and as you get further in your career or within your hobbies or inspirations or just your interests in general, there's all kind of challenges. So that because alone, I feel like should eliminate the word of enough being used because there is no such thing to me in my personal thing in my own opinion as enough because I'm always trying to strive to be better than I was 5, 10 minutes ago, yesterday. I always want to be better than I was at the moment. And of course, it takes time to do that. And that's the only way that you're really going to be able to measure, is it enough? Is accurately is with through time to me. But that's not to say that talent is not important and that skill is not important because yes, you have to develop those things first before you can even, I hate to say it, get your foot in the door sometimes, but if you're not at least putting in that effort, then yes, you are not doing enough if you're not at least starting there. And like I said, talent and skills is the first step. And what it does is, yes, it gives you that creative intuition. It gives you a head start. It gives you the center stage to be able to open up doors and communication between others. But that is just the first step. when you break down that, like, I think where it really matters down to being, quote unquote enough and what talent really means in 2026, I really think it's going to come down to the communities and the intention behind the community of whatever product or brand that you're building and whatever services that you provide. That's where it really comes down to. That's why we pride ourselves on the deaf community here. Because, man, we couldn't do nothing without them. And you know what? Shout out to, the deaf circle just because of that. And in case you guys haven't aren't familiar with who the deaf circle is, the deaf circle is our day one, not fans, but day one supporters, day one crew members, day one peers, all wrapped into one. Some of them are some close friends of mine who have been a part of the podcast. Some of them are just individuals behind the scenes who support deaf on a creative journey. And then there's others who, as time goes on, you'll see more of, and maybe in other content or doing their own things, you'll see. But we just want to say thank you because you are a big part of this community. And they started off just like how you, the audience who are watching right now, did. They just hit the play button and got involved, engaging with a conversation, asking questions, listening, following through, and not being scared to be vocal or being visual when it comes down to challenging what they know or what they think. And that's what really why we're here. That's why I'm here, I should say. Let me speak for myself because, I am here to challenge the norm. I don't want to ever feel how I once used to feel when it comes down to being a creative, feeling like I didn't belong because of so many other, uh, what do you call it? So many other challenges that are outside of my control and are BS, but you know what? I still have to deal with it. And yes, to the degree, it's not like those things are never going to go away, like, racism or just opportunities, lack of opportunities when it comes down to certain creativity, opportunities because of location or or relationships that you don't have with certain people. And that is why it's important to know that, here at Def, we try to change that narrative because we know how it is as a whole in the in the creative industry that, there is a lot of cliques. There are, you know, gatekeepers, unfortunately, and there are people who are allies and really do want to push, you know, culture and storytelling and narrative in a different direction, but they need the place and the platform to do so. So we welcome you all here at Def because this is the place to do so. And we create a environment for people to do so that feel comfortable doing so. So thank you for not only not lashing out on any of our guests or any of our uh, contributors or collaborators when it comes down to any other content we may have. But we just appreciate the fact of the open communication that leads us down to where we need to be in 2026 when it comes down to talent and being creative. Because let's be real for y'all. Like we are in the times where everybody is fighting to be seen to some degree, whether it be at your job, whether it be at home, whether it be in your love life, whether it be even at your church. I mean, you can't go somewhere without someone trying to say, "Hey, hey, 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 I see me. I'm over here. Hey, hey, you see me?" Like, and it is important to acknowledge people and embrace them while they are here on this earth because you don't know what's going to happen later. You don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know that for positive reasons as well. Like, you know, people put out there things for them to get involved, and they accept who is willing to to be involved in it and move forward with those who are actively showing intention, and you can't blame them for moving the way they do because time is of the essence, and you wouldn't want someone, BS on you as well, would you? Like, you say something and you gotta turn around and follow up with them and asking them, making sure that are they gonna do what they say? I mean, nobody got time for that, We are all adults, and if you're not an adult, I mean, you will get to be an adult soon. Trust me, if you aren't already being groomed to be ready for what society and what life has in store for you. Because trust me, what we solve problems for today, hopefully aren't going to be problems for tomorrow. But the way things are going out these days, man, it seems like sometimes we are going a little bit backwards, or we have to go a little bit backwards to slow down some of this negative trajectory that we see when it comes down to the society pathways that we see people are going down that they never used to be like this, like for example, all the suicide kind of stuff that we see, all this different mental health issues and things like that were once never. It's not that they weren't never you're never there, but they were never as visually uh, represented and just displayed in a manner that you can't escape. And because of that, I feel like people are finding all kinds of ways to try to so-called escape, but yet we can't. And the sooner we can define better solutions to be able to tackle these in a creative, healthy way, I think life as a whole will be better. Like, our morale will boost. People won't be so grumpy. People won't be so uh, quick to cut somebody off or to cut somebody out for the simplest, smallest infraction of a misunderstanding or lack of communication or whatever the case may be. But we really do need to really dial it back when it comes down to effective communication and doing so in a manner that works for society, not just for the individual who's speaking. You know, I ain't saying no names. Politics as usual, but hey, that's how it goes. So I'm just gonna put this out here. My predictions when it comes down to talent in 2026, is it enough? I'm just gonna say this. Talent enough in 2026 is not even a headline. It is a perspective of the past. And just like that, you'll get passed along or forgotten if you continue to think that manner. And that's just my humble opinion. Uh, but you know what? We want to hear from you all. What is the most important thing about being talented in 2026? Is it more important to be talented in 2026 or is it more important to be consistent? Drop a comment down below and let us know. We want to hear from you. Hey, I wanted to go ahead and take this time to be able to let everyone know that Sketchy Success, the web series, is officially going to be done by the time you see this episode of the podcast. So, if you haven't already been watching it and you haven't shared your input or your thoughts on it, hey, you still can do so now. And we'll even go further with encouragement by saying when you do so, not only will we shout you out or show you in recognition for being a part of the community, but we'll have a special little treat for you as well. I can't tell you what it's going to be, and I'm going to do my best to make sure that it's something unexpected. But I will say this: you're only going to get it unless you do your part as well. Hey, I gotta be held accountable. So do you. So if you want to learn more about the different talents and skills and different stories that we got going on here at Dev, go ahead and hit that click. Sorry, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit subscribe and share so that others can get what we have going on here at Dev, and they can get involved as well. Don't hold it all for yourself because it doesn't hurt to be able to get more feedback from others. And that's how you grow as well. Like if I kept this to myself, I would just be stuck to myself. But because of you, look at this. We're having conversations, we're opening doors and doing things that weren't even thought about, you know, days before. So that's why it's important to go ahead and, like I said, hit that like button, share this, and subscribe. We have more high value content on the way coming. And all I can say is at the end of the day, like, man, stay creative, stay engaged, because that's death. And man, we're gonna have to catch you next time on another episode of Designing Last, where clients and colleagues not only come together and learn for the better involvement of the community, but most importantly, because they're deaf, just like you. That's right, I said it. Just like you. Peace. Oh, also, don't forget, on Patreon, y'all, exclusively, new episodes of Cook This. Also, behind the scenes of Designer Labs and more exclusive Just Deaf content that you're only going to see only on Patreon. And guess what? You're invited.
It's time to